What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cocteau Twins, and we're now returning to the Tiny Dynamite EP from 1985. We finished the IKEA Guinea EP, and yes, I believe I reacted to the first track on it now maybe like 5-6 months ago, but we're back for the second tune on Tiny Dynamite, which I believe is Ribbed and Veined. So I don't know, on the surface of it, it has a sexual sound. I think that's an unavoidable speculation. I suppose these terms could be used differently, and being aware that Cocteau Twins often don't have what we might call traditional lyrics, even when there are discernible words and specific meanings of phrases, it seems like they're at least as much abstract and conceptual, if not strictly phonetic, rather than telling a multi-part story or painting a very detailed and hyper-specific scene. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but I will say it has a very intense and, as I said, maybe sexual sound to it. I guess we'll find out, or at least see what I can pick up on a first listen. Luca is very intrigued as well. Let's hear it. This is Cocteau Twins. The track is Ribbed and Veined, and it's from their 1985 Tiny Dynamite EP. Started very light and breezy. It's still sort of that, but it's got a heavier intensity now. So, an instrumental. So, even more than normal, I suppose a title speculation wasn't necessarily relevant, but I will say some of the sonics felt mellow and maybe even sensual. There was like this warm, smooth feeling to it. But it's weird because even as it was mellow and sensual, it was almost, or not almost, it was also, and maybe even simultaneously, heavy and dark in moments. So it was a really interesting tonal blend. And I felt like there were some transitional moments where it seemed to get, again, a bit bigger, a bit stronger, a bit heavier. So I'm not quite sure the origin of the title phrase and whether there was any sonic conceptualization going on, but a really beautiful tune. Even as I said, it had a bit of heaviness, maybe even a bit of austerity, despite the overall mellow percussive groove and the smooth sonic. So definitely I've heard them do tunes that are very dreamy and rich in terms of the atmosphere. I've also heard, going back to Garland's, tunes that were very heavy and dark. I feel like this is somewhere in the middle of that spectrum, and there's some moments where I felt both simultaneously, so a really interesting composition. The only complaint I would have is that we don't hear Fraser's unique and incredible voice, which I get it, like any band's catalog, I think it's good and enjoyable to have an instrumental here or there. So I'm not really objecting, but of course her voice is one of the main attractive and incredible features of Cocteau Twins music. So yeah, that's my only slight quote-unquote criticism. But yeah, it's cool to return to this EP. I do remember when I did that first reaction, people were like, well, technically the IKEA Guinea one came out first in '85, but it's crazy to think that they were, compared to at least some groups that go, multiple years between releases, they were churning out. I guess 2 EPs isn't quite the same level as like 2 albums or a big double album, but it does seem like they were in a rich and creative vein of form in 1985. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of the EP. Let me know what you think. Thank you again to Han Solo for providing the Cocteau Twins material, and I will see you next time.